viewers, welcome to this exclusive live. It's time for celebrations to begin because the trophy is coming home. India have registered a beautiful victory against New Zealand in the ICC Champions Trophy final. And joining with me is a elated, a happy Indian fan and a former first-class cricketer representing Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and a BCCI umpire, K. Srinath. So thank you so much for joining us. What are your first reactions? How excited are you? How happy are you?
I mean, obviously, extremely happy for the Indian team for having won this Champions Trophy after a long gap of 12 years.
Yes.
But nevertheless, it was a very, very keenly contested game. End of the day, you would want to watch a final of an ICC event played out this way, because at one
Right.
point in time we thought it was a walk in the park, but end of it,
Right.
the resilience the Kiwis showed. I think it was a fitting game for the final of the Champions Trophy.
Yes. And also, even as you rightfully said, the Kiwis just showed how much they can fight till the end. Even during the last overs, they were fighting, they were fielding, and they were exceptional in the field today. What do you have to say about Kiwi spirit today?
I mean, they are a side which always plays this brand of cricket. At
Right.
one point in time, I think during the first drinks break, anybody who watched the telecast today would have thought that India would have won this game 15 overs to spare. But
Right.
post the first drinks break, the sort of breaks they applied on the Indian middle order was something phenomenal. And their never say die attitude is something that's always stood up. And as you said, very unlikely of a Kiwi side to put down two chances today.
Right.
The catching was pretty ordinary by the standards, but nevertheless, on the field, as always, they were brilliant. I think they really gave the Indian team a run for the money. But end of the day, as I said, it was a fitting finale, one of the best games of this tournament, and it was reserved for the final.
Yes, leading Team India's batting was none other than captain himself from the first, taking on those initial, innings, dominating the initial power play. He was clinical and he was determined that he's going to go big, hit big, and you could see the way he carried himself in the first few overs. What a player! What a man! How impressed were you?
Uh, Mid-inning show, I was talking about the first 10 overs of power play and how the Indian
Right,
openers would encounter the Kiwi pace attack. I think I said, "Come at the hour, come at the man." So, a man made
right,
for big moments, and no better than Rohit Sharma. He's been there before. I think it was an outstanding innings, and the captain led from the front. In the first half, he was spot on with his bowling changes and field placements. And in the second half, he came out. He was just like a man possessed. I don't think he
right,
could put a foot wrong. And I think the opening partnership of 100 between him and Shubman Gill, I think
right.
that laid the platform and paved way for India lifting this Champions Trophy.
Also, everything almost worked very well for India in this game. Shreyas Iyer coming in the middle, doing what was asked for. He was also very crucial. Also, KL Rahul in the end, doing finishing off things. Uh, what do you assess from Team India throughout this tournament? They've not lost a game. Uh, Last time they did it in the T20 World Cup. This is the second consecutive ICC title, third consecutive ICC final, and they did not lose the game back in the ICC T20 World Cup. They've never not lost a game here in this tournament. It's a great thing for Indian cricket, right? What do you have to say?
Yeah, of course. I was just listening to Ian Bishop say that in the last 24 games India has played in the last three ICC championship, they have just lost one game, but it was the final of the 2023 World Cup. That shows the
Right,
sort of unit India has played as. And to me, in this uh, whole Champions Trophy tournament, I don't think India put a foot wrong, barring maybe a
right,
few glitches in their catching and fielding. But otherwise, they showed why they were number one in the world. Not losing a
right.
single game en route to this ICC Champions Trophy final and pulling it off, though it was not a walk in the park, as I said in the final. But that proves to show that what sort of a team and a formidable unit we are. I think certainly every Indian should be proud of the achievement we've had in the last 18 to 20 months.
Right. Also, we have to address about how Gautam Gambhir, as a coach has been into a lot of criticism for his way of approach, but this is the first ICC trophy that Team India are lifting under his coaching. So he has been he was the one who close quarters watched someone like Varun Chakravarti, someone like Harshit Rana, and both of them have performed well for Team India. So from Gautam Gambhir's perspective, he would be really happy and relieved, right?
Obviously, I mean, in any sport, the coach is judged by how the team is done.
Right.
So if a coach has good arsenal and he's got good ammunition with him, and they come all cylinders firing like what India did in the Champions Trophy, obviously the results go in their favor and the coach is an elated man. But many a times the coach can do a lot of planning. There's a lot of work done in the back room. But end of the day, when execution and
Right.
deliverance has to happen, it has to be on the field. So the job of the coach ends just outside the boundary line. So he's just a mute spectator. He gets in messages. There can be strategies that can be changed. Messages can be passed on. But end of the day, it has to be the 11 players on the field of play who certainly have to execute and deliver. But as happy as you said, Gautam has been at the receiving end for a lot of things, having lost in Australia and the BGT, and a whitewash in the Test series against New Zealand. But I think India picked up on white ball when they beat England 3-0 in the ODIs, and then came back here strongly and proved to the world saying why they are number one.
Right. Also, in games like this, it might get a little difficult as to pick who should be the player of the game. Hands down, Rohit, for you, if you had to choose, who would you give the trophy to?
I think it's a tough call, but typically this game is always loaded in favor of batters.
Right.
But yeah, there wasn't a real big polling performance where somebody picked a 4-4 or 5-4. So I think obviously yes, setting up a run chase in a final. I think yes, I would tilt towards Rohit Sharma. So end of the day, it's the base that is set up for the rest of the batters to follow.
Right. Right. Talking about the India have finished this series in a overwhelmingly good note. Talking about the future, someone when you look at someone like a Varun Chakravarti, someone like a Harshit Rana, from purely from a bowling perspective, how do you rate these people? How do you see India's future from a bowling perspective? Because this is the first tournament, first ICC event that India have managed to win clean sheet without someone like a Jasprit Bumrah. So, how do you see India's bowling attack advancing into the future?
Well, certainly credit should go to this Indian bowling unit because, as you mentioned, winning without somebody like Bumrah, Siraj was not a part of the squad. With
Right,
just one primary fast bowler playing in the 11, barring the first game where Harshit Rana partnered Mohammad Shami. So the gut
right,
was Rohit decided to go in with Hardik Pandya and played four spinners later on. Well, Varun is not a spring horn or a youngster who is 25 or 26, is around 32, 33. So what
yeah,
augurs well for him is he plays only white ball cricket. So it could be one dayers or T20. So it all depends on how well he can maintain his fitness. So his game per se is going to be only in white ball, more oriented towards white ball. So the number of ODIs or number of T20Is India plays, he certainly will be a part of it, subject to his fitness. Yes, Harshit Rana, of course, is the future because even Shami is not getting younger by the day. He's 34, 35, and he's come back after a long layoff due to an injury. But
yeah,
yes, the future really beckons well for Team India and what they've done and achieved in the last 18 months, as I said, with two ICC trophies, Champions Trophy now, and the 23 24 T20 World Cup, just losing out in the 23 final against Australia. I think it's been a fascinating run, and I would say it's a fabulous time for Team India, and the future is really bright.
beautifully said. Looking at India's batters, someone that's been very consistent throughout this tournament was Shreyas Iyer. So he has, there are rumors going around how the BCCI have again approached him for a contract. So he has, sort of carved again his name into the books, and he's told the world that okay, I can do stuff, I can come out, and I can perform when I'm needed. So how do you assess him? How do you see himself? See Shreyas Iyer with the pretext of India's future in batting?
He's been around for long enough, and the world knows what he's capable of. It was just a matter of time that he had to come out because he had a fantastic 50-over World Cup in India. He got close to 500 runs. He got a couple of hundreds. So he had to lay low because of injury, and in fact, he even missed the IPL post that. So injuries are part and parcel of the game. And yes, this was a tournament when not many people had focused on people like Shreyas Iyer or KL Rahul. In
Right.
fact, the focus more was on Shubman Gill with the start he had to the tournament, then Virat Kohli's 100, and then we spoke about Rohit Sharma's form. But two people who were never spoken about and they really quietly worked their way through were Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul. In fact, Rahul was batting really well at 5, and he was given a slot at number 6, and dedicatedly they wanted him, to be the calming influence there. If you look at his
Right.
numbers in the 5 games he's played, it's been fascinating. I think even today he was the calming influence in trying to get the team across the line. So these two guys were really the people who went unnoticed.
Right.
Because when you have superstars like Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma at the top, always the talk is around them. Even today, the talk was about the blazing knock with Rohit played at the top. The media will be harping about Virat Kohli's failure. But not many
Right.
people will give the credit which Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul deserve. I think these two guys have done extremely well in this tournament. And Shreyas Iyer, to me, yes, again, white ball cricket, he certainly is going to be a very vital cog in the wheel in the years to come by. How he sharpens his skills and proves himself well to again get back into red ball format is up to him.
Yes, beautifully said. So it's been a very happy, memorable tournament for Team India. And I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. If you had to pick one moment that's been, top of your list from this ICC outing for Team India, which one would you pick and why?
It's
Apart
it's
from
got
the
nothing to
trophy,
do.
of course.
Of course, it's nothing to do with a cricketing moment. I would say the inspired selection of Varun Chakravarti in the playing 11 against New Zealand. I think that was the
Right,
turning moment for me in this ICC Champions Trophy. After that, India looked a different setup as a bowling attack when Varun came in. After that, there was
right,
no looking back. So, to me, I think that was the defining moment in this tournament when Rohit and Gautam in the think tank of Team India decided that they had to blood Varun Chakravarti in. He just had one ODI game under his belt against England, which was not a great debut for him. But the way he came out, kudos to the team as to the way they've handled him. For me, that was the moment. Chakravarti's infusion into the playing 11, and that was truly an inspirational one, which proved to be perfect.
very rightfully said. He kind of changed the entire dynamics of spin along with the former spinners in the team. So tournaments like these, with India, performing every each game differently in each game. Someone is almost stepping up in every other game. So, who is your player of the tournament and why?
I mean, to put my finger on somebody, I will certainly not go with a Virat Kohli because it was 180, and after that, nothing much happened with him.
Right,
Shubman Gill started off well, and yes, Rohit had a brilliant knock in the finals. Could be a toss-up, maybe between Shreyas Iyer or Varun Chakravarti, because still he ended up with about 8 wickets just by playing 3 games. So
right.
to me, if I would really put my hand on somebody and say my player of the tournament for the performances and from the background where he came from, I think I would go to Varun Chakravarti. But anyway, the people have decided something is going to come up from them. For me, it's been Varun who's been a revelation in this tournament.
Beautiful, sir. I'm going to wrap up with one last question here. Uh, we always talk about the great Indian trio, how it could be their last ICC outing. We also saw glimpses of Ravindra Jadeja going up to Virat Kohli, hugging him, and it just gave me flashbacks of how in the BGT series Ashwin revealed something to Virat Kohli, and then it was an emotional embrace there, and then a post cut to Ashwin revealing that he's going to retire. So, what do you speculate from this? Will this mean it's the last ICC outing for Ravindra Jadeja? Because even when he was celebrating after hitting the last runs, he seemed different. He celebrated it in a very different way. What do you speculate from this?
I'm very poor at speculation. And number two is I don't play Dream 11, and I don't I'm not good at taking a lot of these things. Having been a cricketer in my past, I mean it's too early, or it's very speculative to say what could transpire. I mean,
Right,
as I mentioned earlier, it's an independent decision. The cricketer knows when he needs to hang up his boots, and also the
right,
requirement of the team management. Well, if somebody decides, either one of the three decide to just leave the game, I think this would be a great platform, because they are living on a high wherein they have won an ICC Champions Trophy. So nothing like it. But
right,
I don't think any cricket lover, any cricket fan, or any former cricketer has got any right to, write an obituary about a cricketer or a sportsman's career. I am a very firm believer. It could be anybody, media, scribes, former cricketers trying to get mileage out of whatever they want to say. I'm the last person, because I don't pick anybody to play in the 11, nor I am the guy
right.
who would say that you need to quit at this point in time. So if somebody's career is going to come to an end on their own, fantastic, because they've been great servants of Indian cricket. Otherwise, I wish they continue and bring more glory to our country.
That's a brilliant stand to express. I also think it's right now a moment of joy, a moment to celebrate uh, the wait of 12 years. The trophy is coming home after 12 years. It's been the third consecutive ICC events final, second consecutive ICC trophy. India, in fact, the India have the highest number of Champions Trophy titles right now with them. This is their third consecutive, third
Correct.
ICC Champions Trophy. So I think it's all about the moment of celebration. It's time for celebration. And I just want to thank Sir for his insights throughout this day. Thank you, Sir. Thank you so much for your insights. Thank you, audience.
Pleasure.